I'm here with Vince Mancuso, and I just ordered this amazing print of a painting he did pre-COVID. And when I first saw it, I was completely mesmerized by it. And here is the original down here. Absolutely fabulous. And so, Vince, I want you to tell me about all this, the story behind this painting, because it blew me away, to be honest. All of your art, I'm just going to pan around. All of your art just blows me away. I'm down here in your studio, and it's like absolutely phenomenal. I mean, everything is so amazing. Um, and you have this sort of futurist. It's futurist, and also what other
What other isms?
influence isms, and
What
yeah,
other isms?
it's all the isms and the
Yeah.
yeah. What are they?
Well, definitely that's interesting that you picked. I definitely have a passion for early 20th century modernism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So futurism, the Italian futurism played big. Surrealism, metaphysical painting, from
Right.
like Giorgio de Chierco. It's interesting how a lot of the Italians, the modern Italians, were big faves with me. Like they really spoke to me. I mean, I loved my Picassos and Matisses and all of that kind of stuff. But those Italian futurists and metaphysical painters,
Right.
and I think it's because
I was just going to ask. Yeah.
I
What's
think
the
at the heart of it
difference?
is because the Italians, even though they were very modernist, never completely abandoned themselves to the ideas that the French and the Americans eventually did, which was the individualism,
Mm.
right? Italian modernism was always about the relationship of the artist to the society, to the social fabric, to the history of the world, right? That they're
Mm-hmm.
part of,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where the French, right, and the Austrians, that got into that existential expression, it became about the individual, right? Very different. And my roots are Italian, right?
Yeah.
The ancestry, you can see it in the imagery that, my
Absolutely.
relationship to Italian art and the Venetian painters like Tintoretto and Titian,
Oh
that kind of
yeah, you
thing.
can see it in the colors and in the contrast of the painting as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just wanted to tell us a little bit about tell us how this came about, because the story blew me away, because I love the Plague Doctor, that hit me, and then I saw Batman in the corner here and these amazing dancers, and I thought, wow. And it is called
I call it the party.
the party.
Yeah, I call it the party.
Oh, it is
Uh,
a party.
yes, I called it the party. Look,
Oh,
it's
okay.
people ask me. I know when you look at the painting, it looks like there was some great master plan. Something of that sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, there really isn't. You know, um, it's funny because being a postmodern right generation,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing with my work is I've always worked stream of consciousness, right? I don't like script out everything and figure it all out. I create theatrical scenarios, right?
Right.
I've been a professional artist, like narrative communication artist all my life, in
The
film and narrative
storyboards and that
storyboards,
kind of thing,
illustration.
yeah.
So you start to understand the theater of visual images and how to tell stories, just like the way that a director of a play or a film
Mm-hmm.
would consider those things.
Right.
So you set up a scenario and then you allow it to go wherever you want, right? So I knew I wanted to make a painting of like ballroom dancing,
Yeah.
celebratory party that echoed my experiences as a child with Italian weddings, like
Oh
500,
yeah.
600, 800 person weddings and everybody in their finery, that kind
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah.
right? So, and that's what I did here. I just proceeded to do that. And as I was drawing the dancing couple, I kept getting these flashes, right? Which
Mm.
at first appeared to me like, the Venetian plague doctor of the Carnival,
Oh
right?
yes,
Which
absolutely.
was like, that celebratory party time, in Venice, right? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even see it as a premonition to a pandemic or some disease or, some sort of, plague that would sort of ail us,
No.
but and sure enough, a couple of months later, the whole pandemic broke.
Yeah.
It was so weird, right? Because I kept looking at the painting and I kept seeing this plague doctor in the middle of the dance floor, almost like like in the 50s,
Yeah. Oh,
Joyce, like
yeah.
in the 40s and the 50s,
Yeah.
when they'd have the dance contests, and they'd have the
Exactly.
judges going around tapping people on the shoulder.
Is that Batman in the corner doing that?
Well, I put Batman in there afterwards, because geez, if I'm gonna put the plague doctor and that and create that kind of carnival thing, I've always related to the '65 Batman TV series as an
Oh, that's the
operatic,
best one.
yeah, an operatic theater, like such a campy, over the top,
Oh,
Broadway play, right?
yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, so and that's it just kind of became, you know. It wasn't like I had this, kind of thing. I just let it happen. I gave myself a point of departure as a painter, which is
Right.
what visual painters do. You know, painting a party scene from an aerial view with
Yeah.
dancing couples. What a great thing. It echoes Renoir. Renoir's Parisian dancers.
Yes, yes, yeah. And yeah, and it also echoes. Actually, I see Rembrandt here too, the chiaroscuro, the your use of light
Little
and
bit of
dark,
that,
a
yeah.
little tiny bit,
I'm
but
aware of that.
there,
No.
yeah, well, you would be, and with Tintoretto as
Yeah,
well.
Tintoretto and Titian, and of
Yeah,
course,
Titian, yeah.
I'm not a big like Caravaggio fan. Like I'm not a big on photorealism or that kind of real.
No.
I love a stylized, imaginary kind of realism. Something like Tintoretto. To me, El Greco is kind of like the
I
comic
love El
books
Greco.
of 20th century.
Yes.
Where the artist is inventing the figures.
And there's an intensity to the color.
Great color. It's a little
Yeah.
bit more poppy. It's a little bit more bright. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's
I love
neat.
that.
I use El Greco filters on my videos
On your
sometimes.
yeah. Well, because as a child, some of the work that influenced me was a lot of the Pulp Fiction stuff, right?
Yeah.
That came out of the 20s, 30s, 40s. One of the big artists was a guy named Norm Saunders. And ironically enough, this guy was influencing me when I was 8 years old because he painted the Batman bubblegum cards.
Oh,
He made oil paintings, Joyce, 3x4,
amazing.
right? Because the TV series would not give Topps Cards the licensing rights to use actual stills from the show.
Right. So he
So they
created.
had to hire a Pulp Fiction artist who could create that kind of expressionistic, stylized, poppy kind of figurative work,
Right.
about the series.
Yeah.
And I was buying these bubblegum cards, like at 10 cents a pack, and this guy's blowing my mind, and it's something that stuck with me.
So okay, Batman. That
Yes.
seems to be your favorite superhero. I mean that.
Yes.
I mean even your car is black, and it kind of
Yeah.
look. I pass by and I go,
I love
that's
Batman.
that's a little bit like the Bat car,
Batmobile,
Batmobile. Yeah.
I'm a Batman freak, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So why?
Well, we all identify with heroes, right? I mean, if you go back to ancient Greece and again that Western culture and that Mediterranean culture,
Right.
and you think of the heroes, for example, like Achilles and Hector,
Oh, yeah.
and Ulysses and Agamemnon. I was always fascinated. Obviously, as a child, I'm projecting. I want to be that hero. I want to be that conqueror. And trying to understand that. And I
Right.
think that as I grew up, I always empathized, with the tragic hero, the vulnerable hero. I loved Superman, but he wasn't my guy. He was an alien and he was too invulnerable. Right?
Except for Kryptonite.
Except for Kryptonite, right? But on the most part, right?
Yeah, he was Superman.
But Batman was a human being.
He lost his parents.
He lost his parents. There was
Yeah,
tragedy in his
yeah.
life, right?
Yeah.
He was human. He was vulnerable. He had to work. He had to work really hard
To make
to
it.
be Batman, right? Even though he was privileged.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the money and he could afford the technology, he could afford the cars. He still had to push himself, right? To
Yeah.
be, the best that he could be.
And he had compassion because he takes in a ward. which becomes
takes an
Robin,
award.
yeah,
He
boy
has a
wonder, you know.
relationship in the community. He's working
Yeah,
with the police.
yeah,
Like Batman was my guy. It's just
yeah,
he was dark and angsty, but he was trying to do the right thing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
related to that completely. Hook, line, and sinker, man. I made my mom buy me a Batman costume
Did you?
when I was 7 years old.
Did
And
they have?
I used to wear it and go outside, and I thought I was Batman. The little Italian ladies sitting on the verandas knitting, and crushing the olives would just sit there and giggle and laugh as I would jump over
Look
bushes.
at that boy.
Yeah.
He thinks the Batman.
He thinks he's Batman, right? Yeah, oh man. I used to get my mother to
Isn't he cute?
custom cut my cape so that I had like the bat waves.
Yeah, yeah.
At the
The
bottom.
little.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
well.
I think I was a real drama queen from the real beginning.
Your mom must have loved that though, because she also had an influence on you, I believe, artistically. Did she not? Or not? Yes or no?
No. My family was very disconnected. I was very disconnected.
But she painted those beautiful fabrics in Italy.
That was my grandmother.
That was your grandmother, right?
Right,
Oh, I jumped a generation.
Yeah, and that's right. And
It
I found out all about that when I was 25 years old.
Right.
I had no knowledge of that as a child.
Yes, that's right, because your mom did not learn how to do that, but your grandmother was the artisan.
That's right. I had no idea,
Mm-hmm.
and it was weird how I was just running on some sort of divine, unconscious instinct, natural sense of being. I was, my kindergarten teacher, when they met with my parents, said, your child, he's very sensitive, he has visions, he sees things, and that's just the way I was as a kid,
Yeah.
And I was left to my own devices because my parents were up in the morning at 6 a.m. going to work, right, and leaving me with my grandmother, and then eventually, at the age of 10, I was like sending myself to school. I'd lock up, make my own breakfast.
Well, this is back in the 60s too, we're talking.
This was back
Yeah,
in the
so
60s.
this is a time when, kids could run around barefoot in the
Yes.
summer on the
Yeah, it was
sidewalk
like that,
and pick up pop bottles and go to the
Exactly.
candy store,
You'd go to the candy
There was a
store.
lot more freedom back
Get a
then.
Lola,
Yeah. Oh, the Lolas.
The Lolas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, well,
Big chunk of colored ice with like sugar.
lots of sugar and
Yeah.
pixie sticks.
I remember you could get a Lola for a dime and you could suck on it for 3 hours
Oh,
in
yeah.
the summer, keeping you cool.
They were good. Yeah.
Cherry and grape were my favorite.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I want to say I want to go through. We got to do. Oh, I just want to do a little bit of a. I'm just going to take a look over here because there's who we got in the corner here.
There's the Batman.
We got Batman, and we also have a lot of amazing hockey sticks here.
That's right.
Do they belong to anyone special?
Yeah, to me.
Oh, okay, that's pretty
All of
special.
those sticks are my sticks that I played hockey with.
Well, didn't you get to?
1, 2, 3, 5 of them, and then the two little ones are the boys when they were little. They never continued to play or pursue it any further. But those are my sticks, man.
Yeah, but you were on the ice with someone very famous who just passed away.
Oh, I know. I skated with the great Lafleur.
Yeah,
the great Guy
the
Lafleur.
flower,
Yeah.
Lafleur. The French have such beautiful names. My mother's name was La Violette.
Yeah.
And Lafleur.
At the Bell
with
Center,
beautiful people. Oh
Joyce.
my gosh.
At the Bell Center, okay? Lafleur, I skated with Lafleur. Yvon Lambert was my coach, right? He was running the bench.
Right.
Right? What a great night. I was there because a friend invited me to this skate, right?
Right.
Sort of, PR, social,
Sure,
kind of
sure,
charity
sure,
raising
sure.
skate, right?
Yeah.
Lafleur, first of all, Lambert comes into the dressing room with 2 cases of 2-4.
Oh my gosh.
And drops them down in the middle of the floor. Says, "Hey boys, have a beer before the game, right?"
So
He goes-
Canadian.
He goes, "The flower will be here in 15 minutes,
Oh.
right?" And we're changing, and then all of a sudden Lafleur shows up, and he starts shaking everybody's hand, taking pictures, right? Gracious, majestic, elegant. Like, unbelievable. It was a great experience, and we played a full game. 3 periods. He played one half on one side, one half on the other side, so everybody got to play against him and with him,
Yeah.
And it was like he skated on a cloud.
Yeah. That's why I said you must have felt like you were on cloud 9 when you were skating with him.
Well, I felt I
Yeah.
was like one of those slogging trolls on the earth, like just trying to keep my balance and keep up with everybody, and he floated on. The guy was 64 years old
At the
when
time.
he skated with us.
Oh my
okay?
gosh.
And there were players there who were junior A players
Right.
who could fly. They were unbelievable, okay? faster even than Lafleur. But somehow during the whole game, he just floated on a silver lining, like 3 inches above the ice, and nobody could touch him. Nobody, right? And he scored like 15 goals, like 7 for each side. But this is against young junior A players.
He probably had some sort of magic cloud around him. I don't know. There's something about
He
it.
was always smiling and relaxed, and it was like as if he was made to play the game. He just loved it. It was just natural, you know.
Well, so to kind of end this, you have a T-shirt here. It says "Man Up."
Jerry Cheever's mask, yeah, one
There
of my
you-
illustrations, one of my drawings.
That's right. So there's a hero with a lot of
Another
scars.
one, yeah.
Yeah. And for Canadians, hockey players are heroes.
They're gods, yeah. There are mythical figures. There's no doubt about that in my mind. You know, one of the greatest contributions we've made to world, you know, theater and culture and sports is hockey. There's no, you know, this to me this, and I feel fortunate because I grew up in the golden era.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I watched Orr, I watched Richard, I watched Hall,
No helmets,
you know,
no nothing.
helmets,
Just
right?
yeah. That's how
I
my dad
watched
played.
Jacques Plante put a mask on, you know, and bring the mask to the game, you
Yeah.
know, for goalies because they didn't wear masks, you know, before 1959.
No, I know, and they're yeah.
That's big stuff.
That's
You know,
huge.
in Canada, we completely undervalue and devalue the significance of that on a global stage. You know, we just don't have it. I don't. I can tell you that. I'm not
No, I
taking it
know.
for
No, I
granted.
don't. You don't.
But Jesus, you know, like what a special thing, you know, like when people from different parts of the world see, for example, like a goalie mask from a hockey goalie, you know, in the golden era, or the hockey stick or the blades, you know, the skates,
Right,
you know, like
right.
it's otherworldly.
Well, I agree with you. I shared with my dad about my dad being a junior A hockey player and being scouted for the
Yes,
Wembley
you
Lions.
told
I
me,
mean,
yeah.
these are things.
Your
yeah,
family members played serious games.
serious
right?
games. My Uncle Henry was almost scouted. He was between him and it was 1963. Anyway, he didn't win to be on the Leafs, but
but
there's
that's a great achievement to get to that level
Yeah,
where
but-
you're even being considered. Are you
One of
serious?
two, one of
For
two.
6 teams where the players were the best of the best.
Exactly. And my uncle Bill played for the New York Giants as a pitcher and for the Chicago Cubs. So we have Canadians have a great
Pedigree, yeah.
pedigree. Yes, that's exactly right. Whether it comes from how we came into this country as coureur de bois and as adventurers and
Yeah.
as strong people, because
Strong people.
yeah,
They
very
survived the true north.
the true north and also the west. You know, you get the
And the
Ukrainians, you got Wayne Gretzky, the Gretzky
Yeah.
thing. You know, of course, he was from Brantford. Anyway, I thank you so much, Vince. Oh my gosh, we got to do this again because
Is
you've
that
got
fun?
yeah,
That
you've
was
got
fun,
you've got
yeah.
so many stories. So
there
thank
are stories, man.
So-
I got all kinds.
you do. So signing off
Well,
here
I'm
with
glad-
Vince
I'm glad this is
Mancuso.
going home with you,
Yes.
Joyce. Thank you so much for your patronage and support.
Oh, it's my pleasure,
You're
my
a real
pleasure.
doll for all of that, the effort that you make in the community. It's great stuff, man.
Well-
And thrilled that you're going to take this home.
I love it. It's mine, and this is amazing. And may this end up in a home. All of these paintings. So if you want to contact Vince Mancuso for his artwork, how would they contact you?
Well, you just go to my website, you know, vincemancuso.com.
Okay.
You know, or vincemancuso.com. You know, drop me a line, and if there's something you like, let me know because I can get it for you.
Got lots here. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and we're going to do this again. This was so much fun. Okay. Bye.